بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back, my dear students, in today's English lesson. What are we going to do in this lesson? Let's take a look. So we are still in Unit 5. Is there any ice cream? And today's lesson is going to be a writing lesson. But before we start, let's take a look at the previous homework. What were you asked to do and what did you do about it? So we were asked to list 4 international food from the text, the reading text. Now, for options or for international food, let's take a look at these examples here. The first one is ice cream, pizza, burgers, and sandwiches. All of these are international food. But I want to ask you something. Pizza, where was it originally from? It was originally from Italy, but now it's not considered an Italian food. Now it's an international food. Now, let's take a look at this unit's map. So we are done with all of these. Today, we are having a writing lesson. So what are we going to do in this lesson? By the end of this lesson, you will be able to write a recipe and use sequence words to show the order of things happening. Now, let's take a look here. So, I want you to take a look at this picture. What is he doing and what is his job? Now, do you remember when we talked about jobs before in Unit 3? So, look at the picture of this man. What are the tools he's using and what do you think is his job? So, let's take a look at the things around him. So, it looks like he's in a kitchen, right? And he's cooking or chopping things. So, what is he doing? He's chopping things to prepare for a recipe or prepare for something to cook. So I want you to guess. So what is his job? Looks like he's a chef. So what does a chef do? A chef cooks food. Now, let's take a look here. So in a group, I want you to find a dish that everyone in your group likes and discuss the ingredients and how to prepare the dish. Here I have an example for you. What can you see in the picture? Looks like it's something most of the people like, right? So you can see here sandwiches and fries. Now, if you want to make a sandwich, a chicken sandwich, a beef sandwich, any kind of sandwich you like. So let's choose chicken sandwich. What are you going to do? What are the things that you need to have in order to prepare to make this chicken sandwich? What is the recipe? What is the meaning of the word recipe? Recipe, it's the way to make this dish. So, if you, for example, if you want a recipe for a cookie, that means how are you going to make this cookie? So that means the steps that can help you to make the cookie. Now, what are the ingredients that you need to make a chicken sandwich? So from the picture, I can see here, look, we need vegetables. For example, we need lettuce, we need tomato, we need bread, we also need the chicken. Some people like sauces with these type of sandwiches. Some people, they don't like it. So do you remember the previous lesson? I did show you the word ketchup. Ketchup is a kind of sauce. Some people like it, some people don't. So what is your preferences? Now, if you're in a restaurant, are you going to order something with ketchup or without ketchup? So here, what do you need to make this sandwich? That means the ingredients that you need to have in order to assemble it together and make this dish. So we need bread, chicken, vegetables, but not all kinds of vegetables. From vegetables, we need, depends on your preferences, maybe lettuce, tomato, and pickles. Some people do like pickles with their sandwiches. So now you have the ingredients. What are you going to do? You're going to put it together to create this dish. So you're going to take the ingredients, put it together, assemble it together to make the sandwich. Now, so this is an easy dish. How about another dish? If you want to make soup, are you going to have the same ingredients? No, you will have different ingredients. You will have different steps. You will have a different way to make it, right? Now, let's take a look here. So, use sequence words to show the order things happen. So what are some of the sequence words we're going to use today? First, next, then, after that, and finally. But I want you to pay attention to the word first and finally. Look at the sequence here. First, that means it's the number one step. The first step you're going to do if you're writing a text, so you're going to say first. Now, for example, if you're making a cup of milk, first you're going to put the milk in the cup. Next, you're going to add, if you want chocolate, you can add the cocoa powder to the milk. Then, what are you going to do? I want to heat the milk. Then you're going to have the hot chocolate or any kind of anything. You can add anything to the milk if you like. So, first, it's the number one step. Then, after first, what are you going to use? You're going to use next. After next, use the word then. After then, after that. And finally, that means it's the last step. You're going to use the word first for the first step and finally for the last step. You can use next, then, after that, in between these words. Now we know these words. How are we going to use it? We're going to use it like this. So, look here. To boil an egg, this is an example. If you want to boil an egg, what are the steps that can help you to make this recipe? First, boil the water in a pot. Next, put the egg into the water. Then wait 3 to 5 minutes. After that, remove the egg from the water. Finally, serve the egg. Now, did you see the words I did highlight here? I did change the color of these words here in the text. First, next, then, after that, and finally. So what is the first step and what is the last step? The first step here, first boil the water in a pot. Look, boil the water in the pot. This is the first step. What about the final step? Finally, serve the egg. Here, this is the final step. Now you're done. You can have the egg now. So in between first and finally, we have next, then, and after that. Now, let's take a look here. So actually, we can use other words to show the steps. Okay, not only first, next, and there's another way. Let's take a look at this here. Use time words such as when and until. So, but how can we use when and until here? So, fry the onion in oil until it's golden brown. So, here we don't have first or next or anything before at the beginning of the sentence. Fry the onion in oil until. Now you can go to the next step. Until it's golden brown. Now I can go to the next step. What is the next step? And you can complete your recipe, and then you can do the next step. Now, how about this example? When the water boils, it's a condition. Then you can do the next step. When the water boils, put the spaghetti in the pot. So there's a condition here. When the water boils, you can go further with your recipe. You can go to the next step. So here we have until. Now, when are we going to use until? So we can use it here. When something happen or do something until you see the difference. So you're frying the onion until you see the difference in the onion, until it's golden brown. And in the other example here with when the water boils, what are you going to do? Go to the next step. Put the spaghetti in the pot. Now, let's take a look here. Put the direction for the recipe in the correct order. Look at the picture here. What can you see? What is the woman trying to do? Looks like she's preparing things to make a recipe. How did I know that? Look, here you can see a cooking book. But how did I know that this is a cooking book? It could be like a reading book. Look, here we can see dishes inside dishes in these pictures. So, and she's trying to collect the ingredients to start with the dish. So she's using the cooking book to make this recipe from this cooking book. That's why she's preparing. Now, what are we going to do? We're going to put the things in here in the correct order to have a recipe. Let's read it together so we can find out what is this dish and how are we going to order it. So she's going to make cheese and mushroom omelette. Cheese and mushroom omelette. What are the ingredients? Take a look at the pictures. Here we have mushrooms, we have eggs, we have butter, we have grated cheese, and finally salt and pepper. Let's take a look at the ingredients here. So here we have 2 large eggs. So more details about the eggs. 2 large eggs. Salt and pepper. 4 to 5 slices of mushroom. Now here we have 3-4. What does it mean? That means 3 or 4 slices. 3 is correct and 4 is correct. And anything between is also correct. Now, for example, if we found a recipe and here we have 2 to 5 slices, does that mean it's wrong to have 3? No, it's not. It's correct. From 3 to 4 slices of mushroom. Anything in between is also correct for the recipe. It's not going to ruin the recipe. Here we have 1 tablespoon of butter. What is the quantity of these ingredients? We can see it before the noun or the ingredient itself. So 1 tablespoon of butter, and finally here 1/4 cup of grated cheese. Fourth of a cup of grated cheese. Now, is it any kind of cheese? What is the detail we want for this cheese? Grated cheese. Can you see the person here in the picture grating the cheese? So here we have grated cheese. Now, what are we going to do? Oh my God, let's take a look here. So we have the words I did highlight. These words can help us to put the steps in the correct order. So what was the first step here? So let's go back. Look, we're starting with first, and the last one is going to be finally. This can help us, right? Now, we're going to find the word first. We're going to put number 1. That means this is the first step. Where is first? I can see it here. First, break the eggs into a mixing bowl. First, break the eggs into a mixing bowl. See? This is the first one. Now, what is next? What are we going to do? So let's try to read the words that have, let's read the sentences with sequence word, but we're not going to choose finally because finally it's the last step. So here let's read this. Next, pour the eggs into a frying pan with the mushrooms. Add a little salt and pepper and mix the eggs with a fork. Finally, it's not finally, so we're not going to choose finally. So next one here, melt the butter and fry mushrooms until golden brown. So you're going to do this thing until you see the change. You're frying the mushroom until you see the change, which is changing the color into a golden brown. Then fold the omelette in half. After that, put the butter in a frying pan. Now, let's take a look. So the first one, break the eggs into a mixing bowl. Now, after putting it in the mixing bowl, what are you going to do? Add a little salt and pepper and mix the eggs with a fork. So now, can you do this like finally? Adding the salt and pepper and mixing the egg as a final step? No, you can't have it. You can't put it as a final step because finally you will have the recipe. You can't mix the recipe and ruin it, right? So now let's take a look. So we found the first step and the second step. Now, what is the third step? So we're going to take a look here. After that, put the butter in a frying pan. After that, we see the words of sequence after that. And then after mixing the salt and pepper with the egg, what are you going to do? put the butter in the frying pan. What's going to happen to the butter? So what's going to happen next? So what's going to happen to the butter? You're going to melt the butter and fry the mushrooms until golden brown. So here, when you put the butter in the frying pan, of course it's going to melt. When it's melting, when the butter is melted, what are you going to do? Fry the mushroom until I see the change, until it's golden brown. So what's going to be next here? So next, pour the eggs into the frying pan with the mushroom. So now here, next pour the eggs. Now I did mix the egg separately. We did fry the mushrooms until the change happened to the mushroom, until it's golden brown. What are we going to do? Put the egg into the frying pan with the mushrooms. Now, after that, so when the eggs start to cook, here there's a condition. Now, when the egg starts to cook, what are you going to do? Sprinkle the cheese on top. So you're not going to sprinkle the cheese on top until you see this, when the eggs start to cook. So here also we have this, the word of sequence. And what's after that? Then fold the omelette in half. Then fold the omelette in half in the frying pan. Now that we are done with these steps, it's 8 steps. What is the last step? The last step, we're going to choose the sentence with finally. Finally, slide the omelette into a plate. Slide the omelette into the plate. So that means, are you going to cut it? No. Here in the last step here, slide it. That means it's going to be transferred from the pan to the plate easily. It's going to slide. So here, what did we do to find these steps? We followed the words of sequence. First, and what's next? After that, next, then there's some conditions. You're going to do this until you see the change. You're going to fry the mushroom until it's golden brown. And here we have a condition 2. When the eggs start to cook, you're going to do the next step. And finally, that means this is the final step. Finally, you're going to slide the omelette to the plate. Now, so write a recipe. I want you to try to do it. Write a recipe for a dish that you know how to make, and make a list of ingredients. Use imperatives to write the direction, and use sequence words and time words such as first, next, then, after that, finally, when, and until. Now, we have 2 kinds. We have words of sequence, which is first, next, then, after that, and finally. And we have time words. What are the 2 time words we saw here in today's lesson? When and until. Now, let's take a look at this example here. So, what are you going to make? We're going to make oatmeal cookies. Oatmeal cookies. Now, let's take a look at the picture. What can you see? Can you see the oatmeal here? Yes, you can see oatmeal, brown sugar, vanilla, and milk, and other ingredients. Now, let's take a look at the quantity of the ingredients. Here, 2 cups of oatmeal, 2 eggs, 1 cup of brown sugar, some vanilla. We can't count the vanilla. It's a non-count noun. Some vanilla, and we have 1/4 cup of milk, and the last ingredient is salt. Here we did list the ingredients we need: oatmeal, eggs, brown sugar, vanilla, milk, and salt. What are we going to do? We want the steps to help us make these cookies. Let's take a look here. This is the final product here. You can see the cookies here in the bowl, right? So, what are the directions of this recipe? We started with first. First, what are you going to do? You're going to preheat the oven. When you're making cookies, this is the first step. Then, mix the sugar and the egg together. This is the next step. After that, after doing this step, which is mixing the sugar and the egg together, what are you going to do? You're going to add the milk and the butter. Next, Mix the rest of the ingredients together. Shape the cookies and bake them in the oven until it's ready. Finally, wait for the cookies to cool down, then enjoy. So here we did include two things in the final step. Finally, wait for the cookies to cool down. This is the last thing. Now the cookies are done. But can you have the cookies while it's hot? No. Then wait. Then, so you can be able to hold the cookies and touch the cookies without burning yourself. So let's take a look at the steps. First, then, after that, next, finally. These are the sequence words. Now, we also can use time words. You're going to, like for example, we can include it here. Mix the egg and the butter until it's white, right? So the eggs are white, and the eggs are yellow, and the sugar is white. So when you're mixing it together, we can add this condition: mix it together until it's white, or mix it together until it's combined. Mix it together until you see the change. Now, when the cookies cool down, you can have it. When the cookies cool down, you can have it. That means when the cookies cool down, you can go to the next thing, or you can do the next thing you want to do, which is having the cookies. Now, what did we do in today's lesson? We wrote a recipe, which is the recipe of the oatmeal cookies, and we used sequence words and time words to show the order of things happening. Do you remember what are the time words and what are the sequence words? Time words like when and until. Sequence words just like first, then, after that, and finally. Now, for your homework, what are you going to do? Look at this picture. What is this place? Looks like this is a restaurant, right? Now, I want you to write about the food at a great restaurant in your town. What kind of restaurant it is, and what kind of food is on the menu, and what do you order at the restaurant? You can choose any restaurant you like, and you can talk about the restaurant. So what are the information that we want to know? What kind of restaurant, and what kind of food is on the menu, and what do you order when you are at the restaurant? Answer these 3 questions in a paragraph, and we are going to check the answers together. I will show you an example in the next lesson, and thank you, my dear students.